Hey everybody, welcome back to Direct Focus. We're continuing our journey through the directorial career of the great Steven Spielberg. Last time we covered the first of the Indiana Jones movies. It's a childhood staple and a movie whose adventure and soundtrack still instills a sense of childlike wonder. This week, 1982's E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. It's another movie that has that same effect. Now that I hear myself saying it out loud, I'm not sure I've ever said the movie's full title.
In 1975, he directed Jaws. In 1978, he directed Close Encounters of the Third Kind. In 1981, he directed Raiders of the Lost Ark. And now, Steven Spielberg brings us E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. We will witness the arrival, the search, the desertion, the fear, the discovery, the friendship.
I'm keeping him.
The secret, the love, the warning, the signal, the mystery, the danger, the intrusion, the wonderment, the enchantment, the hope. The connection has been made. Universal Pictures presents Steven Spielberg's E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial.
By this point in Spielberg's career, that trailer is almost as much an advertisement for the man as it is the movie. The trailer is packed full of emotion delivered largely through the score. That score was done by, you guessed it, John Williams. If somehow you don't know the story of E.T., E.T. follows a kind alien. He becomes stranded on Earth. Elliot, a young boy played by Henry Thomas, befriends the alien and brings him into his home. Elliot's siblings, Michael, played by Robert McNaughton, and his little sister Gertie, played by Drew Barrymore in her childhood breakout role, are fascinated with the creature. The kids and the alien strike up a fun friendship based around magic and discovery. They keep his existence a secret, which becomes a major problem when E.T. falls ill. As the kids deal with their own crisis, much larger players enter the game. The United States government wants to get their hands on the alien, and the kids want to help their friend get home. There's usually a quality in child actors where you can really feel them acting. The performances aren't quite as natural as they could be. Of course, this is understandable, given the fact that they're children and experience comes with time, but the kids in this movie really overcome this. Every member of the cast services Melissa Matheson's script perfectly. The script is credited to Matheson, but it was largely created by Spielberg himself. Matheson was engaged to Harrison Ford while Raiders of the Lost Ark was being filmed. In between shooting Indy, Spielberg would dictate large portions of E.T.'s script to Matheson, who took it all down and made something incredible out of it. This actually wasn't the only time Spielberg would run double duty on massive movies. It's not even the only time he'd run double duty with E.T. While he was making E.T., Spielberg was also working diligently on Poltergeist, another iconic movie. He saw E.T. as the suburban dream and Poltergeist as its opposite, suburban nightmare. During the shooting, Barrymore kept forgetting her lines. She messed up take after take. Spielberg uncharacteristically lost his cool and yelled at her. She started crying. He quickly learned that she was working incredibly ill and tired. She had a very high fever and had a hard time concentrating. Spielberg felt horrible. He hugged the young actress, consoled her, and apologized profusely. The rest of their shoot was a pleasant experience. It's also said that Henry Thomas's audition was so moving, he brought Spielberg to tears right in the room. Thomas was offered the role on the spot. He credits his performance to thinking about the day his family dog died, the saddest experience of his young life. He channeled those strong emotions into his performance. The cast all around was great, but what about the titular character? E.T.'s look is said to be a combination of a pug and Albert Einstein. He was a puppet, but not in the Frank Oz sense. The full-body puppetry was primarily performed by a stuntman who stood at only 2 feet 10 inches tall. In the kitchen sequence, a young boy of the age of 12 who was born without legs but was excellent at walking on his hands was used to create that effect. The Extra-Terrestrial is said to be plant-like and has no gender. The novelization of the movie reveals that E.T. is over 10 million years old. His voice came from an elderly woman named Pat Welsh. Welsh was a 2-pack-a-day smoker her entire life. She was paid $380 for 9.5 hours of recording work. Along with the actress's recording, Ben Burt mixed in 16 other people, a variety of animals, someone sleeping with a cold, and burping. Sounds odd, I know, but E.T. has withstood the test of time, and Ben Burt is responsible for many of the iconic Star Wars universe sounds as well. There's a reason why Spielberg is held in such high regard. His widely varying movies have a central thing in common. His movies speak to us as a whole. Spielberg makes mass appeal, commercially successful movies. These movies are loved by audiences. We show up in droves, we buy the merch, we buy the lore, and the stories and characters stick with us for a lifetime. E.T. is a movie starring talented kids, and its PG rating makes it very kid-friendly. It's not a kid movie, though. E.T. is a movie for everyone. Its magic can be experienced and re-experienced at any age. The opening is a thrilling chase that provides just enough scare to grip the kids and any audience member, regardless of age. Spielberg used unconventional shooting methods for this movie to sell the experience further. Much of the movie is shot at low angles. Many of the adult actors are cut off in the top of the frame, like on an old Looney Tunes cartoon. It feels like it's done from the perspective of a child. The themes of E.T. are universal. The need for a safe home, belonging, friendship, love. These things are, or at least should be, basic human rights. E.T. extends them to all life forms. Good science fiction, after all, is a telling of possible reflections on our own world. These messages are ever present on the surface of the movie, but are never shoved down your throat to choke the audience into submission. At one point, the Extra-Terrestrial comes face to face with a kid in a Yoda costume. There's a familiarity there that must have been a thrill for kids of the era who devoured the Star Wars movies. The familiar is a nod to the very real friendship between Spielberg and Lucas, but it's also fun for the audience. Decades later, Lucas would return the favor by having a group of extraterrestrials of this species represented in the Galactic Senate in Star Wars Episode I. E.T. was first shown as an unofficial entrant in the Cannes Film Festival. What was supposed to be a test screening to get the feel from audiences ended up being one of the festival's favorites. In its official release, E.T. still holds a record. E.T. holds the record for the movie with the longest theatrical run. It ran in theaters for over a full year. E.T. was also the highest-grossing movie of all time for 11 years. Spielberg was the one who beat his own record with Jurassic Park in 1993. Adjusted for inflation, E.T. is still in the top 10 earners of all time. You really need to enjoy the magic of this movie again. I hadn't seen it since I was a kid before rewatching it for this video. I fell in love with it all over again. If you haven't seen it, you're in for a treat. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. It really helps us grow our audience. We have more ideas in the works as well. Also remember to listen to So Wizard Podcast wherever you guys get your podcasts. Check out SoWizardPodcast.com for write-ups, episodes, merchandise, and more. We love hearing feedback, so leave something in the comments or drop us a line on social media. All our accounts can be found after the video.